What does it mean to exist in between, to navigate multiple identities and senses of belonging? I'm a composer of experimental music, and my thesis is on cross-cultural composition and the space between sound and silence. So, how can you write a PhD on silence? It's something my friends never cease to joke with me about. And how does one navigate cultural hybridity? So let's explore a useful framework which links these two somewhat disparate yet entirely connected and interrelated facets of my work. My practice research explores the concept of liminality, the in-between, both sonically and culturally. Liminality is useful in articulating a feeling of in-betweenness, of being between two spaces in terms of identity, one white and Western, the other of color and Asian, while often at times not feeling entirely at home in either space. How I situate myself within the liminal spaces of cross-cultural practice is one of the key focuses of my project, existing between my background in Western music and my research into musical practices and philosophies from Japan, Korea, India, as well as collaborations with musicians from these places, which have shaped my compositional identity and approach to sound. The boundaries between cultural practices are important thresholds, full of contradiction and ambivalence. They both separate and join different places. In my cross-cultural work, elements from different musical cultures are interwoven. They pose an opportunity where differences are embraced not as divisive elements, but as possibilities coexisting. My music asks of the audience to carefully listen to and concentrate on the few sounds which are presented. I'm interested in encouraging listeners to inhabit this threshold where sounds generally live on the edge of perception. There's a distinction that hearing is a physiological phenomenon, whereas listening is a psychological act. My work inhabits the threshold space between silence and audibility, stasis and movement, fragility and collapse. The perception of silence and extremely quiet music can also be likened to visual imagery in negative space, which is something represented in my scores, which you can see on the slide. In the work of artists such as Robert Rauschenberg and Agnes Martin, viewers must take a closer look to attend to the minute surface details of their works, where their method of attention must shift to accommodate the object being perceived. There are advantages of occupying liminal space in practice research, and this can afford new perspective and insights. I hope that my work demonstrates this, discussing and embracing ways of working cross-culturally as a useful model for future arts practice research. Thank you.